If you like this video, I have a ton more like it on the way and in the catalogue. Things on Red Dead, The Crew, Sony, and more in the style of this. So if you enjoy, don't forget to check out my other stuff. Okay, cool. I knew I said I was done with Assassin's Creed, and my video explaining it still stands, but this is something worth talking about in video games, and I thought I might as well write a bit of an essay discussing it since it's relevant. Okay, now the obligatory explanation is out of the way. Let us begin. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey got announced. The trailer was, interesting. And right, so this video is not going to be talking about that game or anything like that, but the facts behind what this trailer means for the franchise of Assassin's Creed and what it means for the future of Ubisoft based on their really, really bad track record. Okay, let's go. So this trailer to me makes it feel that the franchise is going back to an annual release cycle, or at least easing into it by maybe releasing in the first quarter of 2019, which is technically in the same fiscal year, and I've seen a lot of people defending this quick turnaround with, but they had the delay like with Origins, so they benefited too, and that means everyone gets more time too, plus they reuse assets, and so this will be epic. The issue isn't with that. I totally get that. The issue is that we don't need another fucking Assassin's Creed game yet. We simply don't, and that is the issue I have. The franchise got so tired and convoluted in the past few years, and Origins was meant to be at the start of something new, leaving plenty of time between each new game so that they could really continue to coherently develop the same ongoing story that we could be invested in. Have that 2-year gap so that games could take feedback properly from each other and actually properly implement that into the next one. And also have that 2-year gap so that the franchise doesn't get incredibly fatigued. When you look at other franchises out there, God of War, Kingdom Hearts, Uncharted, Red Dead, Elder Scrolls, The Witcher, these franchises aren't oversaturated with games all the time. They gain the respect of the industry and of the gamers by taking their time, having one studio spend years crafting a masterpiece and releasing a labor of love into the public for us to play, not by doing what Ubisoft does, which is by working like a factory creating games in a product line. This is the sole issue of Assassin's Creed, and Odyssey is just a symptom of that. Odyssey looks to introduce a fresh new character, or 2 characters actually from what I've heard and what the leaks entail. Meaning not only have they not listened to us about allowing us to be invested in characters, they've also gone back to 2 characters which we didn't like. I'm really not sure at this point who they're making games for in 2018 because it's certainly not the fans by any means. We can clearly see from the teaser itself and from Ubi's track record that this game will reuse assets from the previous game, Origins, which means we'll have a Brotherhood type game on our hands, but for whatever reason, they chose not to utilize the highly successful Bayek. Instead, for whatever reason, they've opted for changing the character yet again after so many of us told them that is not what we want. It's gone to the point where we know they're listening. They can hear us loud and fucking clear. They just don't care. They simply do not care. And they can spin it however they want, but that is fact. If they cared, they'd listen to what we had to say like good companies out there do with their fans. People love investment. Audiences love investment. When you have characters you like, you love to see them in a new situation, on new adventures. That's why people tune into shows. That's why people watch the MCU and why it's become so successful. People love to see characters. Do you think Game of Thrones or the MCU would be as successful if they just swapped to new characters every time a new episode or a new movie came out? No, because you can change the scenario and the story all you want once the characters people love are present. They'll love it. But to do the inverse and change characters, people are easily turned off because their investment has been for nothing, and that's what's happening here. Origins was a great game. I will always stand by that. Though it had some issues narrative-wise, which I won't get directly into now, it was overall a very good game, which was a ton of fun. Odyssey might continue in that direction from the leaks we've gotten about Brotherhood system returning and the renovation system returning, dialogue options, the naval exploration. The game sounds like it's doubling down on Origins gameplay and making it even more fun, which I'm a fan of. I'm sure I'll sit down, come release, play the game, and have a good time and move on to something else. But at the end of the day, it's like playing roulette with this franchise now. Sometimes we might get a good game, sometimes we might get a bad game. But with this model and what they want to do with this once great franchise, we'll never get an incredible game. Thanks for joining me. This one was a lot quicker than my normal videos, but I didn't have too much to talk about, which made it kind of brief, although I think I got my points across. If you want similar videos to this, be sure to check out my video on Red Dead 2, as well as Sony, and my video on The Crew, with plenty to come soon, so you should definitely subscribe if you want to see more. Don't forget to like as well, that always really helps me out, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you all later on.